Have you ever found yourself on the brink of an emotional abyss, where sighs are missing, and each day seems like a perpetual test? We have been so busy chasing solutions that we forget the one hand that always reaches out to us, God. By saying, "Put it in God's hands," we are not just accepting a helping hand, but embracing a paradigm shift in our approach to life. On this path of spiritual remnants, there is an incredible truth. God sees your pain and hears your cry, and He knows you are tired. Imagine, for a moment, that your struggle is a mosaic being patiently composed by the Creator. Each piece tells a story of perseverance, and each empty space is a promise of hope. What if they told you that the challenges you face are the bricks paving the road to your future? It might seem radical, but this is the unfolding of the counterintuitive assertion that God may be right there acting when our strength is gone. A caring understanding that transforms pain into strength and fatigue into a metal of resilience. Prepare to enter a path where your concerns are not only heard but revered and elevated to a faithful work of art in the hands of the one who understands them like no one else. Listening to God's promises and desires, it's important to open up to this quick reward that inspires you to dive into the waters of trust and curiosity born from the depths of faith. And so, the challenge is posed. After all, are you ready to experience peace when you finally entrust your life to the hands of the Almighty? Since time immemorial, humans have carried within their core a longing for divine presence, similar to what C.S. Lewis called a God-shaped hole in our hearts. It is a subtle reminder that we are incomplete without connecting to the Word of God. This incessant desire for something greater guides us on our spiritual journeys, like a boat sailing in search of its harbor. And if we look closely, we notice that God says to cast our worries on Him. After all, we will be rewarded with true peace and happiness when we put it in God's hands. Imagine life as a puzzle piece. Every aspect of our being fits perfectly when we align with prayer and divine wisdom. It was believed that works of art, such as the Sistine Chapel, could evoke this sense of completeness, something only truly achieved when we breathe in the essence of the word of the day. Living without God is like trying to complete a mere scribble when we could paint a magnificent picture. This connectivity is at the heart of Christian motivation, as through it we truly find purpose and direction. And if you've ever felt that emotional exhaustion, the kind that weighs on your shoulders like gray clouds, know that you are not alone. God sees your pain and hears your cry. It is at this moment that He invites us to listen to the message of God today, a constant and gentle call to embrace our true will to reconnect and rediscover the fullness inherent in the Creator's presence. And so, we open the door to the comfortable and subtle sigh of divine tranquility. Now, let's discuss how God's comfort is palpable even during the darkest times of our lives. In the dark moments, when hope seems to slip through our fingers like sand, the Word of God echoes as a firm anchor. God knows you are tired, but He assures that His presence is constant. His promises are not like the leaves to the breeze, ready to be blown away. Instead, they are anchors that stabilize us. Prayer then becomes not just a desperate request, but an intimate conversation, trusting our pain to the one who sees beyond what is visible. Have you ever observed a river softly embracing its banks? That's how God welcomes us into His comfort. He smooths the rough edges of the pain we carry. A practical example of this can be found in the moments when, even in adversity, we find an odd sense of peace when hearing a song that resonates with the whispers of God says, "I am with you. And this music is simply an extension of his tranquility. In his time, he will reveal the reason for the tears we veil today, reminding us that the restless soul will always find peace in his care. Therefore, do not despair, for God sees your pain. His eyes never miss a detail. He not only hears your cry, but also sends us small signs of relief. Consider each unexpected kindness, each genuine smile, as reminders of him. And it is in these gestures that a discreet mark of his works resides, works that unfold toward a greater rest, to the promise that awaits us, waiting to provide us with a new dawn of divine understanding. We shall realign the spiritual path and reflect on the teachings of the Bible about rest. Finding rest in the turmoil of life is a skill mastered by few, but God has left valuable clues in the Scriptures. Passages such as Matthew 11, verse 28 call us to genuine rest. Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. This divine invitation is not just spiritual jargon. It is a promise of relief. Even when fatigue deceives our perception of strength, the repetition of Jesus' words reminds us that true renewal is within the reach of a sincere prayer, inviting the divine embrace. Now, imagine yourself on a swing at sunset, a scene of overwhelming rest. That is how waiting in him feels, trusting the promised salvation, leaving worries in God's hands. We often think of rest as a passive state, but God, in his wisdom, invites us to recognize that it is in these pauses that he strengthens us. Lamentations 3 verses 25 to 26 teaches us, "The Lord is good to those who wait for him." Seeking these moments of serenity, like a devotional book or a quiet walk, are pathways of spiritual rest applied to daily routine. The rest spoken of is not merely physical. It's an integral restoration. It's about letting go of control, accepting that God says he has a better plan. Sometimes he speaks through silence, strategic pauses designed to renew our spirit. For those diligently seeking the word of the day, it's a constant reminder that even emptiness has its purpose in our journey. And so, with the spirit of patient waiting and clear vision, let us look at the importance of awaiting God's perfect timing, a subject we will revisit next. Waiting is a challenge that tests patience and faith. God teaches us, through examples like Joseph's journey, that moments of apparent uncertainty are actually benchmarks of spiritual growth. Joseph waited years for the word of God. His faith turned adversity into a blessing, converting each tear into future gain. When God tells us to wait, he is not distancing us from his promises. Rather, he is preparing and refining our character to receive greater and more significant blessings. The story of Abraham is another testament to the enrichment gained through patience. God, in his wisdom, used the years of delay to firmly root Abraham's faith, an achievement only possible because he put everything fervently desired in God's hands. This experience sensitizes the spiritual side of the faithful who sees delays as a gift in itself. The waiting times are silent storehouses of blessings, preparing us for a fruitful harvest. How can we apply this to our lives? How about practicing patience in everyday moments, like appreciating flowers growing or even earthly affections? Waiting is not passivity, it is elevation. It brings with it valuable lessons that reinforce our trust in the one who orchestrates our lives. While we wait, we are transformed, capable of understanding that God knows you are tired, and he works actively to rewrite our destiny with a heart enveloped in hope. Strengthened, Let us advance to understanding the true value and indiscriminate power of patience as a virtue that regulates all others. Patience, this uncut diamond, shines in our capacity to serenely wait and harvest in due time what was sown in uncertain times. In Romans 5 verses 3 to 4, the Word of God reminds us resistance to adversity brings growth. Tribulation produces perseverance. Perseverance, a proven character. And a proven character, hope. During faith's silent paths, observe the potential hidden power there. Patience is an inertia. It's a silent movement of God's hands, constantly working towards the best in our lives. Experiencing this active patience can be likened to the seasons. After winter, spring emerges with new life. Everyday aspects can reflect this concept. From a project that requires gradual development to learning a new skill, all these tasks prepare us for receiving divine grace. God says this gradual dedication, although subtle, enriches our spiritual journey with intangible personal achievements, always keeping us moving forward, even if at a slow pace. He who masters patience embraces the ongoing reconciliation of action with peace, recognizing that we live in God's timing, not our own. As we wait, we can focus on heartfelt prayer and strengthen those connections around us that energize our Christian motivation. Patience blossoms the virtue of waiting without anxiety, a transformative experience led by the steady rhythm of divine calm. The flame of hope is reignited at each measured step. It is enough to hold, at each interval, the shadows of intertwining edges. And thus, let us open our eyes to the orchestrated perfection of God's timing, which is yet to come as we delve into His sovereignty. The timing of God is an enigma that few understand, but all experience in its grandeur. When Jesus resurrected Lazarus, apparently delayed in aiding his friend, it demonstrated that his delayed paths are precisely designed for occasions greater than our immediate understanding forecast. These prolonged moments are capably molded to unfold superior blooms. Divine sovereignty transforms these apparent waits into remarkable revelations, ensuring that what comes on the sudden journey holds purpose. As we wait, let us proceed with the patience of blessings in gestation. The master timekeeper of the universe orchestrates silence and patience until time reaches its perfect conformity. Those who hurry along may miss the soft music that precedes every divine command. This peace found, interlaced in a walk of trust, allows us to recognize that a letter coming from the loving Father bears His seal in perfect harmony, the opportune hour of the one who knows each twist and turn. And on days when it seems we are dancing to the rhythm of unchanged timelines, it is in the innate certainty of God's message today that we find comfort, a constant reminder that as we place our worries in God's hands, we are being molded in His invisible workshop. Sovereignty not only observes, it writes new pages of courage and achievement in the book of our lives. Thus, as we reflect on all this knowledge and wisdom, we are led to experience the comforting and transformative rest easing our souls. So, are you ready to let go of everything, leave your pains and hopes in God's hands, and transform your life from the inside out? It's a journey many have tried to start, but few dared to continue to the end, for the path is more arduous than it seems. Applying this knowledge, ask yourself, am I truly open to experiencing this transformative peace? What am I willing to change in my life to honor the celestial call? Surrendering worries to faith requires more than effort. It demands a complete reorientation of vision and purposes. And then, Have you begun tuning your focus to reap the blessings, trusting them to divine expertise? Your actions today can set the line between a silent existence and an exemplary trajectory. Here's the invitation. Discover the silent power of patience, practice spiritual rest, and embrace the virtue of confident waiting. Therefore, if you felt touched by this transformative message, subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications to keep discovering divine wisdom applied to everyday life. Each video is a new opportunity to deepen your understanding and strengthen your walk of faith. Don't miss the chance to be part of a growing community of people eager for spiritual transformation.